Memphis, Tennessee for Game 6 of this Western Conference first-round matchup featuring the #1 seed, the San Antonio Spurs, facing the 8th seed, the Memphis Grizzlies. But it's the Grizzlies that have the advantage, leading the series 3-2. And tonight, their fans hoping to celebrate what would be the first playoff series victory in franchise history. Hello, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green on hand, Doris Burke with us as well. Could be an historic evening for this franchise, but to do so, they're going to have to beat a bunch of former champions, and that's the San Antonio Spurs, who were great all season. 61 wins, Jeff, but it seems like a distant memory right now. They're facing their second straight elimination game. They were lucky to win Game 5, according to Manu Ginobili. Now they've got to do it on the road. What's the key for them tonight to force a Game 7?
Well, it's got to be their guard play. They've got to get outstanding guard play. That means Ginobili and Parker. And Parker has to be aggressive, and he has to live in the lane. Here is what he's got to do, attack the basket. And when they cut off his penetration, be ready to hit that mid-range jump shot. He got it going in Game 5 better than he's had it going all series. He was aggressive, he was efficient, and he was on the attack. You see the numbers, the 9 assists, the 20 shots to me is critical. They need him to be big time here today to get a win.
In a place that is very difficult to win. Anytime a #8 seed beats a #1, it's a huge upset. But this team, it's a little bit different. They're a tough, gritty team, Mark, and they certainly have the chance to knock them out here tonight. They don't have any real all-stars. Nobody on the all-star team game this year. But they've got a guy that they can hang their hat on every single night, and that's Zach Randolph.
Well, no all-stars, but you can make the case that the Memphis Grizzlies has the best basketball player on the floor in this series. You talk about Zach Randolph, his ability to make plays, not a big-time jumper, but negates the jumping ability of the defender by taking it to his body. Has a knack to score the basketball, even though undersized at times. Once again, you see that strength. Just a little love to Tim Duncan, eliminating him from the picture. Gets a clear path to the hoop. And then when he faces up, a nightmare to defend. The ability to score the basketball. And there once was a time, as he tells the crowd, shut up, where he was a black hole, where he would not pass the basketball. 18 assists in this series has become the consummate team play.
Randolph has been just superb all series long for Memphis, but he's not the only one. They've got help throughout the roster. A very deep team, including their floor general, Mike Conley. Conley playing his first ever playoff series has done a great job. The crowd is ready, Hannah, for a big Game 6.
First round playoff series. The reason there's a Game 6, the final seconds of Game 5 in regulation. Spurs down 3. Gary Neal knocks down the three-pointer. That tied the game, forced the overtime, where the Spurs took control and staved off elimination to force this Game 6 in front of this great raucous crowd here in Memphis. Gary Neal, the undrafted rookie who hit so many big shots during the regular season. Certainly none bigger than that in his young NBA career. Right now, let's welcome in for the first time, Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Mike. Well, after that extraordinary comeback by the San Antonio Spurs, the question after Game 5 was whether or not it would impact or have any lingering effect on a very young Memphis Grizzlies team. Not according to Shane Battier.
Inexperience this year. Inexperience, I think in some cases, can be a good thing. In this situation, I think we're young and sort of oblivious, and I think it helps in moving on from tough things. If we knew how close we were and really absorbed it and thought about it and poured over it and knew that was our only shot, it might be devastating. But being young and oblivious might be a good thing in this case.
Lionel Hollins said yes, no question that the way that game ended hurt. But at the end of the day, we have a group of guys that just play, and my expectation is we'll do exactly that tonight. Mike?
They certainly play like that here at the FedEx Forum, Doris. 30-11 during the regular season. They won games 3 and 4 here in this opening round series as they're looking for their first playoff series win in franchise history. And man, oh man, is this crowd ready. This is the loudest crowd we've seen all season, guys.
Absolutely incredible environment. They expect to cheer their team on. A lot of energy in this building.
Well, if there's any team that has dealt with this type of hostility on the road, that has played in tough road venues and won big games, Jeff, it's the San Antonio Spurs.
No doubt. The crowd will not have an impact unless Memphis plays well. I expect them to play well, but I would be surprised if San Antonio doesn't put up a good fight tonight.
Spurs, though, they're 0-4 in this building this year. Lost both visits in the regular season and lost game 3 and 4. And that matchup, Conley and Parker, will be vital here tonight. Randolph against McDyess. Jefferson looking to help. Pass inside, and Duncan able to get it. And a foul on the rookie, Young. As we look at our starting lineup, it's brought to you by Popeyes. Again, all the playoff experience for the San Antonio Spurs. You look at Memphis, Conley, Young, and Gasol all playing in their very first playoff series, but they have not played like postseason rookies, that's for sure.
But I like that first possession as they try to go backdoor on Tony Allen. I like that first possession defensively for San Antonio. They crowded the floor. Tony Allen is not a range shooter. Conley's a decent range shooter. Sam Young's an okay range shooter. But they made it look very tight for Zach Randolph, and he turned it over.
There's Young, the rookie, right back to Randolph. Randolph bumped, can't finish. Duncan the rebound. Duncan has been rebounding very well in this series, not scoring as much as Denoir. Parker inside, and he draws the foul on Conley. Parker had his best game of the series in game 5. He was simply more aggressive driving to the basket.
Coach, you talked about him having to be aggressive offensively.
Well, and I think it's not just him scoring, but Memphis relies so much on Mike Conley that any foul trouble puts them in a huge deficit because they have a rookie behind them in Vasquez. So, you know, this is a big, he's got to keep attacking to try to make Mike Conley guard.
Conley has had a fabulous series. Has really outplayed Parker for the most part. As Tony Parker, with his championship rings and all his experience, ready for this game 6. Spurs get the first points of the game. Conley goes all out to Tony Allen. Allen, the line drive, well short, comes right back to him, flips it up, and that's in. Tony Allen, known for his defense before he came to Memphis, second half of the season, he's done a lot of nice things offensively.
Well, even in spurts for the Celtics, he scored the basketball. A guy with extreme confidence in his ability to score on the offensive end, as Richard Jefferson looked like he tweaked his ankle on that move.
Ginobili off balance, that won't go. Randolph lost it, ball picked up by Allen. Allen to Randolph on the trail. Second effort is good. They led the NBA during the regular season in points in the paint. Zach Randolph, the main reason why. And a whistle, a foul away from the ball. That's Conley's second foul in less than 2 minutes. And a huge call against Memphis. So Gravis Vasquez, the rookie from Maryland, quickly comes in. Conley's been playing huge minutes in this series, 41 minutes a game. And Ginobili setting the screen, Conley running over him, and he's going to have to sit for a while. Well, this already changes the whole dynamic to begin the game. Richard Jefferson. That three won't go. The three-point shooting has been the real problem for San Antonio in this series. Best in the NBA in the regular season, just 31% through the first 5 games. Vasquez, nice move inside. That's not a bad way to come into the game.
Well, he's a guy I really liked in college. Great vision, the ability to pass the basketball, and does not lack, once again, in confidence. This is an extremely tough and talented Memphis Grizzlies team across the board.
A very deep team. All season long, they dealt with injuries, suspensions. Tony Allen with the steal. Nice pass ahead to Young. Count it, and a foul. Nope, they wave off the basket. The foul came before the layup. And right now, the Spurs very upset with each other. Parker yelling at Manu Ginobili.
Well, Parker's upset because Ginobili turned him down to try to throw a home run pass, and this is a clear path violation, foul on Parker, which is 2 shots and the ball.
So Parker upset with his teammate, and then makes a bad mistake with the clear path. Vasquez will get the 2 free throws, and as Jeff said, then Memphis will inbound. Vasquez, their first-round pick after 4 years at Maryland, had a terrific college career from Venezuela. First Venezuelan-born player drafted in the NBA, and boy, is he getting some big, important minutes.
And he's played well in this series so far. Even in limited minutes, he's played well. And you see Ginobili turning it over, Parker grabbing the jersey. And that was a good call.
So an early 6-point lead for Memphis. After the opening 2 free throws by San Antonio, an 8-0 run. There's Marc Gasol, Powell's little brother, who has played extremely well. Puts that one up and gets it away. 10 straight points by the Grizzlies. And an early timeout. Greg Popovich hot right now as he wants to talk to his team.
First time a number 8 seed has ever been a top seed.
Houston ducks under. Got it! And the New York Knicks have become the second team in NBA history to knock off a number 1. The Golden State Warriors have pulled off the greatest upset in the history of the NBA playoffs.
And Lionel Hollins trying to have his team be the 4th number 8 seed to knock off for number 1, and just the 2nd to do it in a 7-game series. Hollins has done a fabulous job with his team. As Tony Parker's shot is short, fight for the rebound, Randolph. Tony Allen looking to push.
But an interesting switch by Lionel Hollins put Tony Allen on Parker and Vasquez on Richard Jefferson, so he didn't have that every possession having to guard the quickness of Parker.
Oh, Vasquez, nice move. Called in earlier in the first quarter, a couple of pretty buckets, and 12 straight points now by Memphis. Pass inside of McDyess. Ball knocked loose. Randolph inside, stripped by Jefferson. Excellent defensive play. Walker stolen by Allen. Allen has had a special year defensively for this team. There's a foul on the entry pass, and right now everything going the Grizzlies' way.
I like the confidence level. I like the tenacity. You see Vasquez not afraid of the moment. Goes by Manu Ginobili, little teardrop floater in traffic. Spectacular minutes as Mike Conley got in foul trouble. Vasquez was ready and paying dividends.
He's a mature rookie, 24 years old. He played 4 years of college at Maryland. Again, had a terrific career. 2nd all-time scorer, 2nd in assists. Comes up way short that time. George Hill is in now for San Antonio as Ginobili sits. Hill has had some excellent games in this series. McDyess off the mark. And a loose ball foul called against Gasol. That's his first, and the Spurs will get another opportunity. San Antonio simply has not shot the ball well in this series. And Greg Popovich, talking earlier before the game, gave a lot of the credit to the Memphis defense.
Well, you're talking about a team battling and trying to take the will of the former champs. And right now, I don't think it has anything to do with their shooting ability. They are being thoroughly outplayed and manhandled when you talk about this Grizzlies defense. They're playing at a different level.
Duncan gets away from Randolph, poked away by Vasquez. Another turnover. That's 5 already for San Antonio. Allen to the basket. Your starting point guard, 2 quick fouls, no problem. 14 straight points. And Parker finally ends the run. Popovich was saying the Grizzlies have been the much more physical team in this series. It's the way they played all year. A very gritty, hard-nosed defensive team. It's got some excellent skill players as well. Allen, Randolph the rebound. Back up and in.
Once again, you take a look at the strength, Not a great jumper, but uses his body to eliminate Tim Duncan's ability to go vertical and then score.
So not a great jump. He really can't jump. As Duncan able to get it go. That's the amazing thing about Randolph. He was 3rd in the NBA in rebounding this year. He's always amongst the top 10. For a guy that really can't jump and is often undersized.
Has a tremendous knack to score the basketball and to chase it down on the offensive and defensive boards.
Midway point for the first. It has been all Grizzlies thus far. One on the shot clock. Randolph hit a big 3 earlier in the series. Not that time. Jefferson. The outside shots just will not fall for San Antonio.
And I don't like those shots when the ball doesn't get into the paint first, either in the post or the drive. As you see Sam Young, they're going at the basket. They're getting that ball to the paint. San Antonio right now is playing around the perimeter.
And the difference with the Spurs, when they were great, they had the ability to stop runs because of Tim Duncan on the block. They can get him the basketball, he would make a play. No longer is that the case night in and night out.
Well, 16 of their 18 points in the paint. As we said, they led the league in that department. Duncan drives. Offensive foul. How about Sam Young, another one of these unsung heroes. As they get their 6th turnover. Young, the 2nd-year player out of Pitt.
That's a great play by Young, stepping in, and then the previous play, just taking it at the basket, right through the face of Tim Duncan.
Young, one of the players who received extra minutes because of the injury to Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay was their 2nd leading scorer, led them in minutes. Had the shoulder injury. He's done for the season. Missed the last 25 games of the regular season, but they have not missed a beat. As Allen double team. Nope, he traveled. A rare mistake early from Memphis. See Lionel Hollins there, so fiery. Hollins told his team, and has been telling them for years about, you've got to be tough to win in this league. He said the addition of Tony Allen and then Shane Battier really helped them achieve that goal this year.
Lionel Hollins has done an outstanding job coaching this basketball team. A lot of people talking about other guys for consideration for Coach of the Year, but he is in the conversation, what he's done here.
Ball knocked loose, last touch by Vasquez. Thiago Splitter, the rookie from Brazil, is checked in for San Antonio.
See, Hubie Brown did it here when he came in and took over. Mike Fratello furthered it. Changed the culture from a losing environment to a winning environment. Lionel Hollins had the same challenge, and he's done it extraordinarily well.
Gary Neal's first shot misses. Grizzlies again pushing. They have controlled the tempo throughout most of this series. Splitter against Randolph. Falling away. Well, you can tell he's got the adrenaline flowing. Allen inside. Randolph banks it in. Grizzlies dominating. They went to Duncan early in game 5, and it was effective. He's triple teamed. Hill the jump shot, and finally they get a perimeter shot to go. George Hill, the underrated backup guard for San Antonio. Randolph thinking about that one. Tony Allen trying to post up on Hill. Good help defense from Splitter. Shot clock at 5. Allen can't get it to go. Kept alive by Gasol, but Hill comes up with it.
It's very hard right now for the Spurs to get a clean rebound. Duncan's having a lot of trouble handling the strength of Marc Gasol, who's just wedging him under the basket.
And Lionel Hollins is going to call a timeout. And the Grizzlies will no doubt get a standing ovation. Excellent defense from Memphis to start this game.
Zach Randolph on the offensive end. Misses it, but eliminates Tim Duncan from getting the rebound, and then once again takes it to his body, the ability to finish in the paint area. Total domination for Zebo.
Remaining, and Memphis jumps out of the gate. Their defense doing the job, as they've already forced 6 turnovers. They led the NBA in steals and forced turnovers during the regular season, doing it again here in Game 6. O.J. Mayo checking in for the first time. Shane Battier as well. Matt Bonner in for San Antonio. Ginobili returns. And Vasquez getting big-time minutes with the 2 early fouls to Conley.
And that matchup for Matt Bonner is a difficult one.
Trying to guard Zach Randolph. Shot clock down to 7. Mayo's been excellent off the bench. Pump shot, banks it in.
O.J. Mayo is a guy that's given him quality minutes in this series, can score the basketball, and give him credit. Was traded at a point, realized he was coming back here, found a way to get into the rotation and play for this team and play with force on both ends.
Does all the rebound. That was a trade that Mayo was all set. He was going to Indiana for Josh McRoberts in a first-rounder, but they didn't get the deal done in time of the deadline. As Mayo gets it inside, throws it away, gets it back. Randolph for 3, way off the mark. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Splitter. Boy, Marc Gasol just takes up so much space down low.
He's just a very good player. You know, he knows how to play basketball. He's physical. He's now in great condition. San Antonio just can't. They can't deal with the physicality right now, and they just can't get a clean rebound on the few stops that they get.
Mayo. And Hill the rebound. So you guys should watch San Antonio during the regular season, and they had one of the best starts in NBA history. Gasol with the block. Randolph quickly the other way. They won 61 games. I mean, it just was a tremendous year for them during the regular season. At one point, they were 54-12. What's the biggest difference in this series than what you saw in the regular season?
Offensively, to me, they scored so easily, and now it's a struggle.
Neal able to connect.
And the reason why I see it is because ultimately, like boxing, styles makes fights. And this Memphis Grizzlies team, as Coach Popovich said, the physicality level that they're playing with has been incredible. So therefore, the Spurs are not able to look as fluid as they normally look.
Vasquez, the runner. Randolph trying to keep it alive. Another rebound. 12-6 rebounding edge for the Grizzlies. Vasquez to the basket. How about Vasquez off the bench? 8 points in 9 minutes.
And that play was made because of Zach Randolph. Realized he couldn't get the basketball and cleared out the lane.
And that one to go a 2-pointer. As Hill able to connect from outside. Anyway, you look at the Grizzlies, the way they're playing in this series, you wonder, how do they only win 46 games during the regular season?
Well, you make some changes. You get Tony Allen, you get Shane Battier, you lose Rudy Gay. You begin to find out how to win ball games.
Splitter on the second effort. And Thiago Splitter, who's gotten some decent minutes after not playing early in the series, has done a solid job off the bench for Greg Popovich. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Vasquez steps back. Rebound, Gasol trying to save it. And that will end the first quarter. Spurs in some ways fortunate to be only down by 8. They trail by as many as 14 as these Grizzly fans hoping to see franchise history tonight as they look to close out the San Antonio Spurs. They're off to a good start there after 1.
Welcome back to Memphis with San Antonio coach Greg Popovich. What was the most frustrating part of the way that quarter played?
We didn't share the ball. We had people open and we forced the issue. More than anything, that was the deal.
Thank you very much. Mike.
Short and sweet. Greg Popovich obviously unhappy with his start, but his team only down by 8 considering
how strong Memphis came out of the gates, Jeff.
Well, they got pounded on the board and they turned the ball over. So to only be down 8, you know, they're still in good shape, but they got to start playing better.
A foul call on Mayo, and Neal will go to the line. Fans, don't forget to visit NBA.com, the place to go for Spanish-speaking fans looking to stay up to date with NBA news, game highlights, player chats, and much more. Keep up with the latest NBA events and activities in your community on NBA.com. O'Neal, who was the hero for San Antonio at the end of Game 5 at the three-pointer at the end of regulation. And a lot of people were surprised that even he felt in the huddle when they were drawing up the play. He said it was pretty cool. I looked around and nobody was voicing their objection or rolling their eyes that Popovich called the play for me.
Really shows the total team effort and the total team belief. Excellent execution for the Grizzlies, but believing in their head coach and preparing for the moment.
Gasol down the other end. Memphis shooting 48%, San Antonio 41. Hill, nice feet inside, and Splitter with the left hand. Well, the Spurs have weathered that early storm and still trail by 6. Darrell Arthur in the game. Greg Popovich said Arthur has been fantastic.
And Memphis is so different than most teams who are strictly pick, or so much pick and roll now, as Arthur makes a great block. They go into the post. Memphis goes into the post on almost every possession.
Greg Popovich thought that was a goaltend. Arthur may have gotten it before it hit the backboard. Arthur now with Neal on him. Pass deflected by Splitter. Now that's 5 turnovers for the Grizzlies. Ginobili, his pass deflected by Battier. Let's see if it was a goaltender.
Checking back in for the Grizzlies.
Nope. Good clean block from Darrell Arthur. And Vasquez sits down. 8 points off the bench. And Connolly picked up those 2 quick fouls in less than 2 minutes. Now he's back in.
You got to give the Spurs bench a lot of credit because they came in and really at least has given them a chance to get back in this ball game. Quality minutes.
Bonner knocks down the 3. Bonner has struggled with his 3-point shot after leading the league in the regular season. And San Antonio back within 3.
And they're switching the Darrell Arthur pick and roll, which leaves them in the post up against Gary Neal. Good play by Conley to recognize the mismatch.
Arthur, best season of his brief career, just his 3rd year in the NBA after winning a championship at Kansas. He has developed. Shane Battier said when he was acquired by Memphis, that's the guy that surprised him the most. He says his kid is really, really good. Battier jumps on it. And a hell ball. One of the premier defensive players in the NBA, back in Memphis where he started his career. The fans love having him, and Lionel Hollins loves having him.
You can never have too many smart, tough, team-oriented players on your squad. And Battier, to me, when Rudy Gay went out, the whole mentality of their team changed to this gritty, tough bunch.
Neal, that's a 3. Too strong. Bonner the rebound. An aggressive bench for Greg Popovich. He said that was one of the keys. He said we need our main guys to play well, but we need the bench to be productive. They have been productive. Same for Memphis's bench, and as Jeff mentioned, Rudy Gay. It was back in February, hurt his shoulder, done for the season. Missed the last 25 games, hasn't played in the playoffs, will not. But his teammates have picked up the slack.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Eastern. If necessary, Grizzlies and Spurs for San Antonio Game 7. Or it would be Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals as Memphis would visit Oklahoma City. And at 3:30 Eastern, Game 1 of that Eastern Conference semifinal showdown as the Heat will host the Boston Celtics. NBA playoffs on ABC, home of the NBA Finals Sunday. Coverage begins with Buick Regal NBA Countdown at 12:30 Eastern. 5-point Memphis lead, 2.5 gone by here in the second. This is the final first-round series as the Spurs trying to force that Game 7 and their bench getting it done. We talked about Memphis and their depth, but the Spurs with Hill and Bonner and Neal all season long, big part of their 61-win campaign. Battier the rebound. And how about overall, guys? This has been as scintillating and intense a first round as the league has seen in quite some time. Would you agree?
I would certainly agree with that. And the reason why is because the Spurs aren't complaining. The Grizzlies have been a very physical team throughout the course of this series, which gives them a chance to win. But you don't hear any whining about the Spurs. That the Grizzlies playing with force. Bottom line, they understand we got to match this or we're going to be going home.
They almost went home on Wednesday night, but Ginobili had that miracle shot from the corner. It was a two-pointer, and then Neal's three-pointer. Tony Parker took over in overtime. It was a devastating loss for Memphis, but you talk to everybody on their team from Lionel Hollins down to the players, and yeah, they were hurt. In fact, Hollins said that they were hurt, and that's what affected them in the overtime. But no carryover effect here tonight. Allen stripped by Ginobili, but a reach-in foul. Mark, as a player, you played a lot of playoff series, and you had some devastating losses. Certainly they hurt that night, but you came back. Did it have any impact on the next game?
No, it did not. And what helps is when you have an entire unit, coaching staff and players, and great leadership that's able to erase what took place. That's not just the team that lost the game, but is also the team that won the game. Because you can get caught up in thinking, okay, it's over, now we can make a run, and all of a sudden, things do not fall the same way. So the bottom line is give the Grizzlies a lot of credit because their mindset is take care of business tonight. Nothing they can do about Game 5.
Seven-point Memphis lead. Grizzlies all season long played very well against the top 4 seeds in the West. They were 2-2 against the Spurs, 2-2 against the Lakers, 3-1 against both Dallas and Oklahoma City. They beat the best in the NBA. Ginobili way short. And Conley threw it away. Allen turned his back. Both teams a little sloppy with the ball, each with 6 turnovers. But the Spurs three-point shooting is Conley just expecting, slipped out of his hands. So explosive during the regular season. Ginobili finding Parker. Bonner. Nice move from Bonner. Although Popovich, again, he was talking about, he said the Grizzlies' closeouts on the three-pointer have been outstanding.
That's been their mindset. The Grizzlies understand the success of the Spurs, #1 three-point shooting team in the business, is to chase them off of the line and not allow them to get it going from three-point line.
Conley turns it over. Allen with another steal. Ahead to Conley. Oh, Tony Allen, such a force defensively. He had the highest steals per 48 minutes in the last 17 years in the league. As Ginobili knocks down that shot, and he already has 4 steals in this game.
And I'm going to give Tony Allen the credit he deserves, but that is incredibly sloppy ball handling by the Spurs. They're just careless right now, throwing the ball to spaces, not to people.
Parker pushes. Conley with the 2 fouls, can't take a chance of picking up that third, and results in a layup for Tony Parker.
A smart play by Tony Parker, and I think a smart play by Mike Conley also, understanding they need him in the ball game. You can't pick up your third foul.
They try and go inside to Arthur. Blocked, but a foul. Randolph will go to the free throw line.
Foul number 22, Tiago Spurs.
Well, this is good plays by Tony Allen, but just horrible passing by the Spurs. I mean, really, you have to value the ball more. You have to understand who you're playing against. You can't just throw the ball blindly when Tony Allen's in the area. You got to make sure that you're throwing it away from the defense, not just to your offensive player.
Randolph hits the first. Randolph in his second year with Memphis, was an all-star last year. Now in his 10th year in the league, plays with Portland, the Knicks, the Clippers, and now the Grizzlies. Just signed a 4-year, $66 million extension. He says the city of Memphis has adopted me. He's put up great numbers throughout his career, but he had a reputation early in his career as a bad teammate, a selfish guy. Had fights with some teammates earlier. They said he hung with a bad crowd. He has really turned it around. You talk to people here in Memphis, and even the last couple of his stops after he left Portland, they say he's one of the most delightful guys to coach, and his numbers you just can't argue with.
Well, the leader of this basketball team, you talk about Tony Allen and Shane Battier, but Zach Randolph is the best player, and he's the leader. Certainly has changed things around. And Lionel Hollins challenged him. He said, hey, people know you're a great player, but you haven't been a winner. He's changed it around and been a total team player here in Memphis.
He's averaged 2010, 3 consecutive years. Conley blocked by Duncan. Duncan amongst the playoff leaders in blocked shots. And a whistle and a foul call on Tony Allen. That's the first on Allen. As Parker took a tumble, and we'll take a timeout with 5.5 left here in the second. A 5-point Memphis lead. Regular season meeting. LeBron James puts up good numbers against everybody in what will be a star-studded series. Many people anticipated those two teams meeting in the playoffs. It has a chance to be a great, great series, guys.
Well, it will be. You're talking about two outstanding teams, two teams that are very well coached, and it has no lack of star power.
And I think home court advantage is going to be huge in that series. I think Miami did themselves well by winning one extra game in the regular season to have home court against Boston.
Pass inside to McDyess. And McDyess had it deflected. Conley, Randolph, Gasol, Allen, and Young on the floor right now for Memphis. Young for 3. That's good. They have shot the ball well from downtown in this series. They were not a good three-point shooting team in the regular season, and that's their first one tonight.
But that's a play that Zach Randolph does not make 5 years ago.
And Conley just picked up his third. Well, Vasquez bounces off the bench.
And I actually thought this was an offensive foul on Duncan turning into the path of Conley, which forced Conley to bump Tony Parker. I thought that Duncan hip check was what started the whole chain reaction. I think a tough call for Mike Conley.
Conley trying to fight over. And an offensive foul. This one's going to go against Tim Duncan.
Offensive foul number 14.
Nope. It's against Neal. Well, it's first on Neal.
And they were trying to run Duncan into the post to get him going on a little bit of a misdirection play.
If I'm Memphis, I'm sticking with Zach Randolph, making great decisions with the ball in his hands.
Falls back, in and out, and in again. The soft touch of Zach Randolph, so he licks his fingers as he goes up the floor.
And the problem right now is, offensively, San Antonio can't spread the floor with Bonner out of the game. If Duncan misses another tip, so they can't spread the floor without Bonner in the game. But on the defensive end, that's a hard matchup for him with Zach Randolph. So it's really a conundrum for Greg Popovich.
What is it?
A conundrum. You don't, come on, that's a good word.
And now I know what you're doing in your free time.
Vasquez, another one. And Vasquez already with a series high. He's got 10 points.
I saw this guy in front of the hotel with a dictionary. I asked, let's go to lunch. He said, no, thank you, I'm busy. So that's what you were doing.
Words with friends.
Foul ball on Randolph. It'll be Zach Randolph's first.
Zach Randolph so good on the block. Doesn't matter whether he catches it deep or not. Has the ability to post you and also face you. That's a big time play. Step back, knockdown, jump shot.
That looked like Dick Barnett of the old Knicks. Fall back baby.
Randolph has a shot. He's perfected that as O'Neal launches a three. And Gary Neal can't connect. Loose ball foul against Memphis. So Randolph picks up his second. They're in the penalty. And McDyess will shoot.
Checking back in for the Grizzlies.
You know, is it as easy as this? Memphis has more better players right now than San Antonio. Could it be that simple?
They seem to be like a team that has everything. They have size, they have depth, they have athleticism. They've got a low post presence. They've got a heady young point guard. They just seem to have all the right pieces.
And I think that's what makes San Antonio's regular season accomplishment so much greater. That they won 61 games, I think is an incredible feat for their team.
But also give credit when you are a team and you pay attention to details. Something as subtle as running the Spurs off the line and staying connected. That last possession, it's different when you allow pro players to step in rhythm from the three-point line. They are making the extra effort plays and contesting every shot.
Nice give and go. McDyess with the dunk. And a timeout call. With 3:03 remaining here in the second. Despite all the crowd going crazy and the fine play from Memphis, their lead is just 6. They'll preview the big series that starts Sunday between the Heat and the Celtics. And then in the West, Kobe and the Lakers, Dirk and the Mavericks, all coming up on the Toyota halftime show. Zach Randolph has been huge for Memphis once again.
Simple game when it was one-on-one. Step back, once again, using that upper body strength, wide open look. When it's one-on-one is your world. When you got 3 guys defending you, 1, 2, 3, kick the basketball. Unselfish play, makes the right play, gets a teammate an open look. Zach Randolph making the proper decisions.
And I'm going to say 3-4 years ago, he's not making that pass. He's shooting that ball. He was a passer of a last resort versus just making the right basketball play.
Ginobili, the deflection takes away from Arthur. Down the lane, layup won't go. Duncan right there. And they're going to call a goaltend, so 2 points for Ginobili. Ginobili was magnificent in Game 5 at the 33 points. And he did so much more than that as well. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Still wearing that brace on the sprained right elbow, and that forced him to miss Game 1 of this series.
They need Manu Ginobili to play better. Flat out need him to play better. Right now they're being very physical with him, making life tough. But if the Spurs are to get out of here with a win, he's got to execute on the offensive end.
And foul. Nice dish from Young to Arthur. As Ginobili picks up his second foul. And Darrell Arthur, another one of these unknown players to the casual NBA fan, but he has had a tremendous season. Arthur won 2 state titles in high school, then won the NCAA title with Kansas, so he was a winner in every level. First round pick in 2008. But he didn't go till 27th in the draft. His rights were traded then 3 times before going to Memphis. So he's traded 3 times before he plays an NBA game. And boy, is Memphis glad that he got bounced around.
Shane Battier earlier today was raving about him, and that he would have been, if you go back and reevaluate that draft class, he would be a top 10 pick now.
Well,
because of his development.
He took a test, and he said he took some kind of anti-allergy medicine because he wasn't feeling well, and it showed up that he had kidney problems, and that scared off a lot of teams that wanted to draft him. It wasn't really a kidney problem, and obviously he's okay as Bonner banks in a 3-pointer. And San Antonio back within 3.
And if you're Bonner, you'll take that shot. You've been struggling. Did not mean for it to be bouncing off the backboard, but he will certainly take it.
Arthur on the drive. Gasol tips it right to Bonner. After the slow start and that quick hit, the Spurs bounce back beautifully here in the second period. Duncan from way outside.
Again, good defense. Force Tim Duncan away from the paint area, and you live with him shooting jump shots.
And I think he's got to roll to the rim.
Gasol spins. Oh, lefty shot. Comes up short. Duncan the rebound. He's got 7. Vasquez almost with the steal, but he was out of bounds. Again, said this before, Spurs have to feel great about. You were looking at the scoreboard, you'd think Memphis was up huge in this game. Neal gets his own rebound, but taken away. Knocked out of bounds. San Antonio ball. I don't think the crowd agreed with the call.
If I'm Lionel Hollins right now, I'm telling my guys, we expect teams in this league to make a run. But let's not do them a favor and help them. Right now, the Memphis Grizzlies have taken their foot off the gas pedal, and that's a dangerous thing to do against the San Antonio Spurs.
Ginobili back to Bonner, and Bonner is hammered. He got crunched, and he's in some pain right now. Bonner slow to get up. And he gets sandwiched there. And he'll go to the line.
He took a hard hit. And there's a quick turnaround, whether it's Game 7 in San Antonio or Game 1 in Oklahoma City. I think they're playing at noon either way.
Bonner now in his 5th year in San Antonio. He has 1 ring with the Spurs. This is that free throw, as we said earlier, led the NBA in 3-point shooting. The bench all season long. Gary Neal, one of the top 3-point shooters, certainly from rookies, but they just have not been able to consistently knock down the 3 here in this series. 2 of 7 so far tonight. 2-point game. Largest lead was 14. That was in the opening minutes. Battier back in for the Grizzlies. Gasol wants the ball. Tough fall-away shot. Battier tips it in. Battier has played in every playoff game in Grizzlies history. He was there when they got swept 3 straight years. And now returning in this midseason trade. Nice feed. Parker to Duncan.
That's a great read by Tony Parker, and just what Coach talked about. Instead of popping for the jump shot, that time Tony Parker hitting a rolling Tim Duncan to the cup.
Vasquez playing the big minutes. Conley with 3 fouls. Vasquez whacked in the head by Duncan.
Just a good read, but you've got to come off aggressive, looking to score and force help. When help comes, drop-off pass by Parker to Duncan. This is pick-and-roll basketball the old-fashioned way.
Vasquez, who averaged just 3.5 points a game in the regular season, has now 11. Our NBA calendar, ABC Sunday. Again, could be Memphis at San Antonio, Game 7 from Texas, or Memphis at Oklahoma City, Game 1 of that series. For certain, the 3:30 Eastern Time start, Celtics and Heat from Miami, Game 1 of their conference semifinal matchup. Shot clock turned off. Oh, nice crossover from Hill. Duncan's tip won't go. Bodies on the floor, and that will end a physical first half. The Spurs will go to the locker room only down 3 after that initial onslaught where they trail by 14. And there you see they're doing it without big games early from their starters. The bench with 23 points for San Antonio. Meanwhile, for the Memphis Grizzlies, Zach Randolph with 10, and he's with Doris.
Zach, at one point you had a 16-4 lead, and for much of this half it felt like your team was in control. But what allowed the Spurs back in it?
I mean, we just got to take care of the ball. You know, we turn the ball over. You know, it's a good team, so, you know, they're going to come back, but we just got to keep on fighting, keep playing our style of basketball and get stops.
Mike Conley had logged such heavy minutes throughout the course of this series. How important was Mr. Vasquez's response here in the first half?
Vasquez did great, man. You know, I got told him this is the opportunity. He got to take advantage of it and be ready to play.
He certainly was. Zach, thank you. Mike?
All right, Doris, the big early lead. You knew the Spurs would bounce back. And here at halftime, we've got a 3-point game. The Toyota halftime show is coming up. We'll preview that big matchup that starts Sunday from Miami, Celtics and Heat. And also take a look at the Lakers and the Mavericks. Game 6 from Memphis. Grizzlies trying to win their first playoff series in franchise history. They're up by 3 halfway through. Memphis, the Grizzlies trying to advance to the second round for the first time in franchise history. The Spurs trying to force a Game 7 with a victory tonight on the road. Hello again, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand. We'll check in with Doris Burke in just a moment. Grizzlies started out like a ball of fire, went up by 14, but the Spurs, led by their bench, came back in. And the key mark really for Memphis to start the game, the energy defensively, and that's our Exxon Playing with Energy segment.
Well, that was the way to get it done. If you're the Grizzlies, you defend the big 3 with a big 3 plus. Defensively, you got to do it with energy and passion. Tony Parker comes off the pick and roll. You see Vasquez there, but 3 guys form a wall. So not allowing him to get to a sweet spot creates a turnover. How about Ginobili? The same thing. Comes off the pick and roll, not by himself. They seal the deal, great help, and force him into a turnover. Tim Duncan decides, I'm going to make a play, putting it on the floor. Weak side help, steps in, takes the charge. Outstanding defensive collectively.
So the Spurs look like they're in a little trouble early. Their star players just average in the first half. The bench, what a lift the bench gave them.
And you are being kind, saying that those starters were average. They were poor. They weren't getting it done. Thankfully for them, the bench came through. George Hill, good job, 2 for 4 from the field. Running pick and roll, making timely plays to Splitter on the roll. And then Gary Neal, only 2 for 8, but made some good plays off the dribble. Matt Bonner, 9 first half points. You see the difference. And Mike, I'm going to say the most incredible stat. The San Antonio starters had 8 rebounds. 8. 7 were by Duncan. So Jefferson, McDyess, Ginobili, and Parker combined for 1 rebound. If you want to win, when that ball's in the air, you better go get it a lot harder than San Antonio went after it in the first half.
And Allen with a foul, and for Tony Allen, that's going to be his second. Now let's send it over to Doris Burke. Doris?
Mike, after relinquishing that 14-point lead, you mentioned the Memphis Grizzlies staff talked to their guys about getting back to doing things at the higher level of intensity they had in that first period, whether it's setting screens, running transition, executing their plays deeper into their sets, but most importantly, on the defensive end, they'd like to get this thing back in transition where they had it in the first period.
All right, Doris. Ginobili. McDyess into Duncan, shot clock at 4. Tough bank shot for Duncan.
Well, once again, those are shots that if you're the Grizzlies, you live with. If he makes these shots, nothing you can do about it. Keep him away from the paint area.
So San Antonio's come all the way back within 1. Gasol, double, lost it. The Spurs defense has certainly picked up since the opening minutes.
And they started George Hill here in the second half instead of the ineffective Richard Jefferson.
Parker's jump shot off the mark. And Sam Young the rebound. Young, nice save. Randolph gets inside, tries to draw the foul. Quick second effort. He doesn't get up very high, but he's got amazing hands.
I tell you, he's the #1 pick on the playground. There's nothing you can do. I once did an appearance with him at a PAL in Atlanta. This guy beat 100 straight people one-on-one without even sweating and taking off his jewelry. Incredible performance. He's a flat-out scorer.
100 people as Ginobili knocks down a 3.
100 straight people, all ages, colors, it didn't matter.
How long was he there for?
It wasn't long because he was scoring on everybody.
Connolly pull-up jump shot, that won't go. He's one of those guys, Randolph, he just loves to play. If he wasn't in the NBA, he'd be playing on 5 different rec league teams 7 nights a week. Ginobili, way off the mark. Young down the other end, lays it in. The Spurs led 2-0. And then a 12-0 run for the Grizzlies. They went up by as many as 14, and slowly San Antonio since then has chipped away. Parker, that won't go.
And he was making that jump shot the other night because it was 1 step closer. When they go under on that pick and roll, he's going to have those shots available to him, and he's got to knock them in.
Ginobili reaching in, Young trying to draw the foul. Excellent double team, fight underneath. And a save there from George Hill. Duncan back to Parker. McDyess the rebound. Duncan inside pass, knocked away by Randolph. Last touch by McDyess. He doesn't agree with the call. Bennett Salvatore seeking help from Jason Phillips. I think they're going to change the call. Yep.
Correct call. Looked like it went off the right hand of Zach Randolph as he deflected it out of bounds. Certainly the right call.
Yep.
And I love when referees and officials just get it right.
Ginobili misses. Connolly the rebound.
Not worrying about the ego of whose call it was, but making sure the ego is a team-related thing, that they're getting it correct.
Pass deflected. McDyess nearly able to save it. Still Memphis ball. They've got 12 to shoot.
I have never seen Manu Ginobili defend it any better than I've seen him defend it in this entire series. Give Tony Allen credit. I'm almost tempted to say he's taking the will of Manu Ginobili. But at some point, Ginobili has got to figure it out and give his team a burst on the offensive end.
Connolly hits the shot. Well, not only Allen, but Young. Greg Popovich was saying it's like he's got 2 Bruce Bowens all over him. That's the kind of defensive respect he's given these young Memphis players. Meanwhile, Connolly in foul trouble in the first half. Played only 7 minutes. Knocks down the shot here. In early third quarter, Grizzlies back up by 4.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Papa John's. Try our John's favorite pizza for just $11. And Dial for Men. Get your dirt on, we'll get it off.
Game 6 of the final first-round playoff series to be determined. Young spinning. Not a good shot. Ball comes back out to Gasol, and he flips it up and in. Marc Gasol, 6 points, 6 boards. He had a terrific season this year and has continued on in the playoffs, averaging a double-double. Second in rebounding in the playoffs. McDyess can still hit that jump shot, Mark.
And he's a guy that says, oh, this is his final year. Talking about a great career, an all-time great individual, and trying to give his team life.
Randolph gets inside. A soft touch again.
And McDyess is laboring in the backcourt. He's been hurt almost every game.
Staying out there, though, but he's in some pain right now. Parker. Hill. McDyess the rebound. Parker flips it up and in. And Popovich saying foul to get him off the court. He's saying no, don't. But they won't listen to him. George Hill commits the foul. They'll get McDyess out of the game. McDyess trying to tell Popovich, don't do it. I'm okay. I'm okay. But he's obviously not okay.
He's like, I'm retiring anyway. Doesn't matter if I'm hurt. Well, he faces up and he drives it hard. That's just a big-time shot. You'd rather Randolph be going to his right hand. And when he puts that down, I think a perimeter player has to be in front of him. They have to be attacking the dribble and see if he will pass it off the dribble.
Well, McDyess being looked at. Bonner comes into the game. Shane Battier also enters. Tony Allen will sit. Young, that's good. Sam Young has had some good games as well in this series. Game 2 he had 17. Game 5 he had 18.
We're watching the Grizzlies get high percentage shots as opposed to the other end. It's a grind for the Spurs offensively.
Pass inside, and Duncan draws the foul. Battier call for the personal, his first.
Just good offense. You see ball movement. Young just steps into a rhythm jump shot. The extra pass, unselfish play. You want it with a high percentage shot.
And it all starts because Bonner has to front Zach Randolph, which brings in more and extra weak side help. So the closeout is long, and you know, let's face it, they're just not making the plays that they'd have to make defensively right now.
Midway through the third, there's Duncan's numbers. Excellent on the boards, a couple of block shots as well.
I think if you're Greg Popovich, you're excited about being just down 3. Because the way his team has played, it's a shocker that the Grizzlies just have a 3-point lead.
Conley, nice move from Conley. Comes up short. Gary Neal, who just checked in the rebound. Neal, Hill, and Parker all in there, the 3 guards, with Duncan and Bonner. Parker nearly threw it away. Still San Antonio ball.
Marc Gasol just rode Tim Duncan off the low post about 3 full steps.
Hill comes off the screen, nails the jumper. And it's back to a 1-point game. This crowd, as loud as any crowd we've heard all season to start the game. Right now experiencing some anxious moments as Randolph is fouled on the entry pass. Not in the penalty yet with 5:11 remaining. First foul on Bonner.
We just saw something you can't teach. Look at the hands of Zach Randolph as he's sealing off Bonner, catches the basketball in one motion, creates the contact.
Shot blocked by Duncan. On the follow is Gasol. Hill off the dribble. Nice feed to Duncan. Can't get it to go. Gasol tips it.
And I'm sticking with going with Zach Randolph if I'm Memphis.
Conley, hard drive and a blocking foul called on Neal. Let's see if they call it the act of shooting as Neal will pick up his second. Greg Popovich said he was looking to pass the ball. Jason Phillips is going to check with Danny Crawford. Let's see if Popovich is right. I think he was shooting.
Well, Greg Popovich convinced him because they're taking it out on the side. Sometimes as a coach, if you act so outraged that how could you possibly think he was shooting? And I don't know what he would do.
I agree with that, but I think he should be at the line shooting too, because you can't determine, losing the basketball in the air, you can't determine that he was looking to pass it.
Zach Randolph is the most physical, low post player. He is just moving people right now. Watch his cut.
That didn't look like a foul on Bonner.
But you know what? That's contact that Zach Randolph does not mind. He embraces that contact. He's going to put himself in position to catch the basketball and score the rock and put pressure on your defense.
O.J. Mayo back in. Nice fake. Draws the foul. As Duncan picks up the personal. And that's 3 now on Tim Duncan. Mayo will go to the line. O.J. Mayo has gone through a bit of a tumultuous season. Lost his starting job. Was suspended 10 games for testing for a banned substance. Got in a fight on the team plane with Tony Allen. As Mark mentioned earlier, he was traded to Indiana, but it didn't get to the deadline, so he stays in Memphis. But he still stayed with it. Embraced his role off the bench. He's played very well in the series. Had big games for them down the stretch as well.
And I think you look at this guy, he's a starting shooting guard in this league. It's just a question of finding his niche and finding a home. But he's a guy that can certainly start in the backcourt for a lot of teams in this league.
Duncan, nice fake. Drives. Battier knocks it away. Big collision. Randolph gets it. Well, this is a physical game as Gasol is fouled by Hill. They are banging bodies at both ends of the floor.
Mistake made by Pau Gasol running Duncan off the spot, but multiple effort plays. Certainly there's contact there, and Greg Popovich and Tim Duncan has a case arguing that that's a foul, and Shane Battier comes across the head of Duncan, but no foul call.
Instead, Gasol will shoot free throws. George Hill picks up his second foul. ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues Sunday and Monday night. First on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. The Mets and the Phillies from Philadelphia. Then on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern. Yankees and Tigers in Detroit. Second free throw off the mark.
Why did this guy just write down that I said Pau Gasol instead of Mark? Why don't you just say it? I made a mistake.
Well, I'm not a critical guy by nature. I wasn't critical as a coach, and I'm not going to be critical as a broadcaster.
I think I called him Pau in the first half, too. Parker, nice move inside. Conley resets. Duncan with the 3 fouls. Gasol goes at him, flips it up, and puts it in. What a tough hook shot. He's in double figures, 10 points, 8 rebounds.
Talk about an underrated center on both ends of the floor. Getting it done for this Grizzlies team all season long.
Parker puts it in. The jump shot he hit all season long that has escaped him for much of this series.
But against great players, you got to be willing to give up something. And forcing Tony Parker to win this game from the perimeter is something that Lionel Hollins and the Grizzlies will limit.
Conley gets inside. Nice feed. Oh, beautiful setup. Conley to Gasol.
Greg Popovich wanted a 3-second violation, but Mike Conley playing the point guard position like a true maestro.
Gasol, 8 of his 12 points here in the third. Parker pulls back and nails another. You know, Tony Parker still put up some decent numbers, but as Greg Popovich said, according to his past standards of playoff basketball, he's been very average. But 2 sharp buckets here in the third for Parker. Conley. Mayo kicks it out. Conley for 3.
That was great rotation defense by San Antonio.
Parker on the drive again. Bonner way downtown. And Gasol hauls in the rebound. Timeout, Memphis. An elimination game here in Tennessee. Memphis trying to oust the #1 seed.
Mike Conley making the play. Marc Gasol finishing at the rim. Mama call him Mark. I'ma call him Mark. Exceptional job getting into the paint.
1995 in Vancouver. In 2001, they moved to Memphis. And still looking for their very first playoff series win. An opportunity tonight. They had their chance on Wednesday night, but lost a heartbreaker in overtime in Game 5. Now hoping to close it out in front of their fans to make franchise history. But they are in a dogfight right now, leading by 2 with under 2 to play in the third. Mayo, alley-oop to Arthur. Pretty pass, prettier finish. Is that a set play coming out of the timeout?
I think it's a set play for Mayo to make a play, but here's a guy that's a natural born scorer and trying to play team basketball. Great vision and a great play by Mayo.
Parker, Duncan, Neal sets up, in and out. And a loose ball foul against Memphis. It's Battier. 2 on Battier.
O.J. Mayo comes off a scorer. But once help comes, your duty is to make the right play. Throws up the lob pass to Arthur, and he finishes at the rim. That's getting it done. I tell you what, Mike, I thought that we would just be calling the game by ourselves. I have to speak on it. I'm shocked that Jeff Van Gundy is here because I would have bet my last dollar that he would have been at the Royal Wedding.
You were asking for an invite.
Well, and I didn't get it, but I was up at 4 a.m. watching. It was an emotional time for me. It really was.
The wedding was emotional? It was just
emotional.
Getting up early?
No, it was emotional, the wedding. I loved the Duchess of Cambridge dress. Look at that dress. The cinch waist you can't see, but that I think brought it home.
Are you kidding me? What kind of waist?
Cinch.
What's happened to you?
Hey, there they are, the Grizzly fans. All right. Oh, it was beautiful ceremony, beautiful.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I was near tears.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what to say. Ginobili. Gasol the rebound.
I know what to say. Make that shot, Manu. If you're Greg Popovich and the Spurs, that's what you're saying.
Final minute, third quarter. Vasquez, who was terrific in the first half. Oh, what a pass to Arthur. Darrell Arthur with a couple of slams, and Memphis back up by 6.
Hey, that's King Arthur. I don't know about King William, but that's King Arthur right now. My goodness.
8 points off the bench for Arthur. And the crowd fired up again. They were a little nervous there earlier in the third. Hill to Bonner. Shot clock at 2. Ginobili has to put it up. Mayo the rebound. Mayo foul by Hill. And they're in the penalty. 3 on Hill.
Well, good play by Grievous Vasquez. Not only knowing that he was there, but this ball had to be placed perfectly for Arthur. You know, it's such a pick and pop league right now. When you roll, that's when you put pressure on the defense.
No, but not only that, you're letting Ginobili off the hook because if you switch, then switch the right way. You cannot allow Arthur to roll to the hoop. Right now, Manu Ginobili is not engaged in this basketball game.
Ginobili just 7 points, 1 assist, doesn't have a rebound, 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from downtown. You got to give so much credit to the defense. And Ginobili, lots of contact, puts it up. Oh, he puts it in at half court. Ginobili nails it. And a huge bucket for San Antonio. Right on cue, Manu Ginobili, who's been struggling tonight, with a dramatic finish to the third quarter. A lot of contact there. Clearly he got it off in time. The Spurs had missed their last 7 3-pointers. They were 3 for 15 from downtown. The half-court shot goes down. We head to the fourth quarter, 4-point game.
Coach, that shot by Manu Ginobili, every time it appears you're going to get some distance between the Spurs, they come back. What do you say to your guys?
Hey, that's who they are. They just make big shots, and they keep making them. But, you know, I like the way we're playing, the way we're pushing it and attacking. You know, if they live by the luck shots, they live by the luck shots.
Tony Parker had 9 points in that period and for stretches dominated. How do you keep him under control in the fourth?
Well, he made shots, and once he starts making shots, it's a struggle. But we got to quit going under on so deep when he's down below the free throw line.
Thank you very much, Coach. Mike.
All right, Doris. Randolph with the follow. Neal on the drive. Flips it up and in. Back to 4. The San Antonio Spurs facing elimination for the second straight game. Well, a roster filled with former champions not going down without a fight. Randolph, nice feed. Tony Allen drawing the foul. Well, he'll shoot 2 as Gary Neal picks up his third.
You got to give Zach Randolph credit. I mean, these are outstanding plays and great reads that he's making time and time again, whether it be on the pinch post or on the block. When the double team comes, this guy is turned into a willing passer.
Allen hits the first. Let's listen to the Lionel Hollins huddle.
Hell of a game, guys. Hell of a game. We got to keep battling, keep playing. Push it, push it, push it, push it. Make good decisions. Attack the basket.
Lionel Hollins in his 23rd year as a coach in the NBA, most of them as an assistant. And a former champion, was on that 77 Blazers team. Hill misses the layup. Randolph another rebound. 11 boards for Zach Randolph to go along with 16 points. Vasquez, too strong. Allen comes in and puts it in. Memphis by 7. He just plays with so much force. Neal, Splitter had it, tried to deflect it, and Allen goes crashing into the scorer's table. And a foul call on Matt Bonner. Randolph has words for Bonner. I don't need any help, says Tony Allen. I'm fine. Chance of Tony here at the FedEx Forum.
Outstanding hustle plays, running the basketball more than anybody else on the floor. And I like what Zach Randolph did. Matt Bonner tried to go plead his case to Tony Allen. Zach Randolph went up to Matt Bonner and said, I got him. It's not your job. Stay away from him. We're not here to make friends.
Now, Allen, in his first year, has made a lot of friends here in Memphis. Signed that 3-year deal. $9.5 million his first 6 years with the Celtics. He was part of that 2008 championship team. Celtics miss his grit. They miss his toughness. And he has brought that here. And between him and Battier, all the players say that it really has changed the dynamic of this team. He received votes for Defensive Player of the Year. He finished 4th in the voting for the award.
And deserved votes. When you look at Shane Battier, he looks sane. When you look at Tony Allen, he has that crazy look to him. And I think you need that mentality on your team. This guy has brought something different. A quality professional, but his attitude on the floor is, I'm going to do whatever it takes to put my team in position to win.
Not sure what the officials are checking with. Maybe just if the clock is the right time. Bennett Salvatore, Danny Crawford, Jason Phillips, the officiating crew. You're just tuning in. Grizzlies stormed out to a 14-point lead early. San Antonio came back. They tied it in the third. Now Memphis with a chance to advance to the second round. A 7-point lead. Almost 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Randolph, and a foul on the entry pass. So Bonner picks up his 4th, and that's already the 3rd team foul. 3 team fouls in less than 2 minutes.
The guy is the hardest working man in show business when you're talking about on the block. Not much Matt Bonner can do without fouling him because of the pressure that Zach Randolph puts on him pursuing the basketball.
He may have had some years where he scored more, but in terms of his all-around game, this was his best season. And he has continued that with stellar play here in the playoffs. Repost, Conley gets it right back to him. Randolph won't go. Rebound tipped and taken by Ginobili. Many in the crowd on its feet here in the second half. Ginobili knocked out of bounds. He thought he was fouled.
I've never seen a defender be able to keep his body on Ginobili like Tony Allen is doing. He's staying connected to Ginobili.
Parker trying to create some space, and that shot will not count. A foul beforehand. That's the first team foul against Memphis, as Conley now has 4.
And Mark made this point early, and it's so true. Everything is hard right now for San Antonio. It's just hard. It's hard to get a good shot. It's hard to get into the paint.
That's been for much of the series. Parker operating. Nice move from Parker. A little post-up move for him on Conley.
Well, he's the guy. He's the only guy really on the floor right now who has a favorable matchup.
He leads them in scoring with 17. Right back to Randolph. And Bonner really having his problems, as do most defenders trying to guard Zach Randolph one-on-one. That's 5 on Bonner, and already 4 team fouls.
But they have got to stop switching that 4-5 action so Bonner doesn't end up on him. Have McDyess he's just got to bust through that screen. Zach Randolph's not catching and going. You've got to drive through that screen. But I'll tell you this, Matt Bonner has played exceptionally hard against Zach Randolph. You got to give him credit for the effort. It's just at times overmatched strength-wise.
Offensive foul. Darrell Arthur with a moving screen. It's only the second turnover of the second half for the Grizzlies. How about San Antonio? They haven't turned the ball over in the second half yet. We played 15 minutes already.
And that's what you need to do, particularly on the road. You need to handle the ball. They got off to a shaky start.
They had 6 turnovers in the first 5 minutes.
Right, Duncan had 4 of them.
Ginobili on the drive, tripped up, won't go, but he'll get to the line. He grabs his right leg. And that's going to be Conley's 5th foul. Well, Conley will no doubt have to sit for a bit. Conley finds room and then gets off the shot. He took a shot, but free throws coming up. Spurs trying to stay alive. Memphis has to win for that to happen. That'll be part of a doubleheader on ABC on Sunday. If San Antonio wins, it's Game 7 from Texas. If Memphis wins, it's Game 1 against Oklahoma City, followed by Boston and Miami, Game 1 of that Eastern Conference semifinal, as the NBA playoffs continue on Sunday afternoon. With Durant with some great games. You look at what Dirk Nowitzki's doing, Dwight Howard. I know the Magic were out. He put up fabulous numbers. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. How about the point guards between Rose, Westbrook, Rondo? There's been some spectacular performances so far.
Durant down the stretch of Game 5. It was a guy who could not be guarded. They tried multiple defenders on him, and they each had the same level of success. 0.
Randolph doubled, gets it to Allen. Tony Allen with the finish. What a game for Allen at both ends of the floor. He's in double figures.
Another play being made by Zach Randolph off the block. If you're going to double team him, now he's looking to make plays, and Allen slashes to the hoop, gets the layup.
George Hill deflected. Still San Antonio ball with 10 to shoot.
And they put Tony Allen now in that last possession on Tony Parker. Now he goes back to guarding George Hill.
Parker pulls back, hits another one. Tony Parker has found the range in the second half.
Another great shot, but if you're the Memphis defense, those are shots that you live with. Those are tough, tough shots. You don't want Tony Parker dominating the paint area.
3-point game with just under 8 to play. Vasquez back in there. Conley with the 5 fouls. McDyess on Randolph. Randolph the drive, flips it up, off the mark. Gasol, the offensive rebound, but lost it. Ginobili. Parker resets. Ginobili deflected by Allen. Shot clock at 7. Parker for 3. In and out. Battier the rebound.
You see that help by Tony Allen. Not just helping, but helping with high hands, deflecting the pass to an open Tony Parker.
Allen. Inside pass to Gasol. He rushed it. Duncan's presence perhaps altering it. Ginobili looking, finds Duncan. Back out Hill. Hill for 3. Way off the mark. An air ball. Vasquez ahead to Randolph. Randolph up and under.
Going crazy. Air ball, the contest by Zach Randolph. Off to the races. One-on-one with Ginobili. Take advantage. Bad defense. Grizzlies having a good time in Memphis.
Elimination tonight in Memphis.
And we gave Tony Allen a lot of credit. You don't stop great players with one guy. You see every time he puts it on the floor, help is coming. So he's got to beat 2 guys and then a contest. Once again on the other end, pick and roll basketball, 2 guys in the area helping Tony Allen. Ginobili has to give it up. How about this? Bad shot due to indecision on the offensive end. Indecision again. Do I not? Winds up missing the shot. Manu Ginobili, as Greg Popovich says, one of the all-time great competitors. Well, he's been out-competed this night by Tony Allen.
You know, the Memphis defense, their help defense all night long has just been superb. Still plenty of time remaining, 5-point game. Battier now on Ginobili. Ginobili drives, flips it up and in. Oh, terrific shot from Ginobili.
And you look at the numbers. San Antonio shooting 40%. Memphis 50%. Memphis is out rebounding them. How are they staying in the game? They are right there.
Part of it, again, they still have not turned it over in the second half. Randolph wants the ball. Allen makes his drive. Shot clock at 2. Allen out to Randolph. They won't get it off in time. He's out of bounds anyway. Lionel Hollins obviously not happy with that possession.
Great drive by Ginobili through the traffic to his strong left hand and finish.
You're Tony Allen in that position. You got to swing the ball to Vasquez on the wing and get it to Zach Randolph on the block.
Battier right up on Ginobili. Falls back, knocks it down. Manu Ginobili makes it a 1-point game.
Sometimes, as great a defender as Shane Battier is, the bottom line is that Tony Allen has had Manu Ginobili's number all game long. So putting Battier on him, allowing Ginobili to find his rhythm.
Well, they put Allen on Parker to try to take him out of his rhythm.
Allen cuts to the basket, blocked by Duncan. His 3rd rejection, but Gasol takes it away. Shot clock did not reset. Allen, and it's going to be a 24-second violation. Duncan with a great block, but Memphis able to get it back. Unfortunately, the shot clock ran out.
You see Lionel Hollins getting Mike Conley back in this basketball game because they have not gotten it done on the offensive end the last 2 possessions.
under 5 to play. Parker. McDyess, jump shot. It's good. And the Spurs have their first lead since the opening seconds. And the building has gone quiet. A 6-0 run, and San Antonio up by 1 with 4:39 to play.
Former Houston Rockets coach, the great Rudy Tomjanovich, once said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. Give the Spurs credit. Fighting, hanging around until they close the gap. And Manu Ginobili making plays offensively, creating the airspace, knocking down the jumper. We have ourselves a ball game.
Continues Sunday and Monday night. First on Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Mets and the Phillies from Philadelphia. Then on Monday night at 7 Eastern, Yankees and Tigers from Detroit. 4:39 remaining, fourth quarter in Memphis. As the Grizzlies trying to pull off one of the bigger upsets in recent NBA playoff history and become the fourth number 8 seed to knock off a 1 seed, and just the second one to do it since they went to the best-of-7 format in the opening round.
And Lionel Hollins just made a very difficult decision. Tony Allen's lack of shooting has hurt them the last couple minutes. So he's taken him out and put in O.J. Mayo as Zach Randolph knocks it in. That's to give Randolph more room. Now at the defensive end of the floor, they're more challenged because they take away and take out their best perimeter defender.
Difficult decisions for coaches. Bad pass from Duncan. And that's their first turnover in 25 minutes.
And really, Mike Conley got away with overplaying Tony Parker. The pass is on point. Parker gets a wide open layup.
First one of the second half, and came at a bad time for the Spurs. Conley pull-up jumper, puts it in. Back-to-back buckets, and the lead up to 3 for Memphis. Parker on a drive, shoots over Gasol, short. Randolph, McDyess all over him. Tough shot. That's good. Zach Randolph and a 6-0 run. Grizzlies back up by 5. Ginobili, a 3. Conley tips it right to Battier. Memphis pushing Mayo. Stripped by Hill, still Grizzly ball.
It's real simple right now for the Grizzlies. Get that ball to Zach Randolph, give him some room. Great defense by McDyess. An incredible make by Randolph.
22 points, 11 rebounds for Randolph.
And you got to get him the basketball again. Run your offense through him.
Under 3 minutes. And McDyess called for the foul on the entry pass. Spurs, McDyess picking up his second. And they're in the penalty.
What I love about it is so many big men allow the defender to push him off of the block. Here's a guy working for his position, and he puts so much pressure on the defense and going to the line because he's not posting up coward.
It's amazing how in games like this, and in this case for San Antonio, perhaps season will come down. Grizzlies hit their free throws down the stretch. They've got a good chance of winning this one. It's the last thing we talk about in terms of analyzing a game, but sometimes it makes the difference between advancing and falling short.
And San Antonio had some good looks, but they're missing some quality shots. Parker, Ginobili.
Hill fakes. Jump shot from Hill off the mark. McDyess battling for the rebound. And a foul on the rebound. Memphis not in the penalty yet, so San Antonio will take it out of bounds.
And you're right, Coach. The Spurs have gotten good looks, but they're looks on the terms of the Grizzlies. This is outstanding defense trying to close out a series.
No question.
Ginobili will go to inbound. Parker. Still plenty of time to shoot. Parker drives on Mayo, flips it up and in. Oh, what a difficult shot from Tony Parker. Mayo played him well. That ends the 8-0 run.
And no secret where the basketball is going. And he gives Zach Randolph expect a double team and continue to read and make plays.
Randolph calling for the ball. Makes his move. Pull-up jump shot. It's good. Zach Randolph does it again. From San Antonio. Oh, it'll be game one in Oklahoma City. Memphis right now in control. The second game will be Boston-Miami. Doubleheader on ABC.
Well, Zach Randolph's power in the low post is creating a nightmare for the San Antonio Spurs. Here they try to front him, and because of the extra help Neal has, it creates the open shot for Sam Young. And then when he's doubled, he's now a willing passer, and they give up a cut to Tony Allen. And then if you don't double him, he goes to work. Now, I'm telling you, this is great defense by Antonio McDyess, but even better offense by the powerful Zach Randolph.
Randolph has said the city of Memphis has embraced him. Boy, embrace him if they hold on and get the victory here tonight. Hill gets it. Hill on the drive. Parker. Once again, excellent defense. Allen kicked it. All night long, the help defense has been just sparkling for the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, the shot clock says 24, so they'll check on that. On the kick ball, it would go back to 14 if it was less than 14 at the time of the kick.
Did the clock even start?
I think the game clock did. I don't know about the shot clock.
I thought it was 1:55 at the timeout.
It was. Never started. I've always, you'd be a good ref.
You'd be a good coach, too.
Thank you.
So now it's up to Danny Crawford, the crew chief, and figure out how much time went off. They say 7 seconds.
Then the shot clock has to be 17.
Now they put it down to 1:45. So 1:45 and 14 to shoot. Tony Allen knocks it away. Ginobili gets it back. And through the hands of Parker. Tony Allen's defense made it a difficult pass. What a defensive performance from Tony Allen.
Does his job, and then Lionel Hollins brings back in O.J. Mayo for the offensive end. But I like that matchup much better. Tony Allen on Manu Ginobili has created problems for him all game long.
Again, they hadn't turned it over the entire second half, but two costly ones here in the final minutes. Can the Grizzlies close this one out? They couldn't in Game 5 in San Antonio Wednesday. Randolph doubled. Shot clock at 4. Randolph puts it up, puts it in. 9-point lead. This building has erupted. Parker throws it away. And the Grizzlies are in control. Wants a timeout. side, stolen by Ginobili. Hill to McDyess. Hill back to McDyess. That's a two-pointer. That's good. But it's still 7-point game with 29.9. They've got a foul. And there's the foul. Hill gets Conley. And the Grizzlies can put this one away at the free throw line.
If you're just tuning in, it's been the Zebo show. Does not matter who's guarding him. I'll take great offense over great defense any day of the week. Putting on a clinic to seal the deal. You're talking about tough plays to make down the stretch. Zach Randolph has made them in a variety of ways.
14 points in the fourth quarter, 28 for the game to go along with 11 rebounds. And this crowd ready to celebrate. A brilliant performance from Zach Randolph on the offensive end. And Randolph and his teammates, great defense all night long, led by Tony Allen. And the Grizzlies on the verge of their first playoff series win in franchise history. Timeout, San Antonio. .5 seconds away from the second round. And now 28.5 seconds away from the first playoff series win. Shane Battier has played in every one of these playoff games. Reacquired this February. Neal blocked by Gasol. Foul. And Conley will go to the line. I think there may have been a foul call. Was there on the shot? No, but it's going to come down and shoot free throws for Memphis. And Greg Popovich's Spurs on the verge of a heartbreaking defeat and a bitter end to what was one of the best regular seasons in their franchise history. They won 61 games. Had one of the best starts in NBA history, not just the Spurs. People were talking about how the Spurs were back, they were healthy. But boy, did they run into a juggernaut here in the first round of the playoffs. Just could never get their star players to all play well together. The bench gave them a lift early, but they will lose in 6 games. Parker, nice reverse layup. 94-86 with 19.2 remaining. Randolph quickly fouled. And all this does is give the Memphis Grizzlies fans a longer time to cheer. Spurs fought back in Game 5. They pulled off that improbable win with the big shots at the end of regulation. They were confident coming in. They played in so many big games, especially with Duncan and Parker and Ginobili, Antonio McDyess as well. But they came up against a deep team that just controlled the tempo, were more physical, and were just a better team.
Well, we talked about it, styles making fights. This is a Grizzlies team that, down the stretch, some people say they put themselves in position to play the Spurs in the playoffs. And it certainly has paid off because this team will find themselves advancing with a legitimate chance to continue.
And they'll play against Oklahoma City. And they played well. They beat the Thunder 3 out of 4 games during the regular season. That series will start on Sunday. Randolph puts on the finishing touches of a brilliant offensive performance. Danny Green knocks down a 3. With 14.3 remaining. And there's the foul, Ginobili. And Zach Randolph enjoying every second of it. He has loved his time here, as has Battier in his return. They acquired him from Houston back at the trading deadline. Hit that big three-pointer in Game 1. then had his daughter born shortly after. It's been an amazing return to Memphis for Shane Battier, who's beloved here in this city. .30 points for Randolph, 16 of them here in this fourth quarter. One of the most talented offensive players in the game. Lionel Hollins said that's the guy we hang our hat on every night. And a timeout call. We'll take a quick break and then be back in time for the celebration here in Memphis, Tennessee. For Tim Duncan, 12 consecutive 50-win seasons. That's an amazing accomplishment. 14 consecutive playoffs, the 4 NBA titles, but a bitter defeat tonight as they'll lose in the first round as the #1 seed. This is a tough one to take even for these former champions.
Well, a team that's so used to having things going their way, this is an awfully tough one. But as a former teammate, if this is the last game for Antonio McDyess, I just want to say job well done. What a class act.
And I think the regular season in the NBA is about your basketball character, playing back-to-back nights, 4 and 5. The playoffs more reveal your basketball talent, how much talent you have. I don't think the Spurs have anything to be ashamed of. They gave an unbelievable regular season. They were beaten in this series by a team that's younger, deeper, and more talented.
And again, you look at the San Antonio Spurs, they got some nice young players as well. Tim Duncan is obviously not the same player. He's still a great player, but not the same player that he was. Can they come back next year and make a run again?
They've got to retool as far as talent level. They overachieved during the course of the regular season. You're talking about an undersized basketball team. They got to get younger, more athletic.
This crowd is waiting for the buzzer to officially celebrate. And the Grizzlies bouncing back from that heartbreaking loss in Game 5. Parker inside to Duncan. The tip goes in with 5.3 remaining. And Battier has to call a timeout. Well, you could bet every Grizzly fan right now, or certainly many of them saying, oh no, don't give him an opportunity. They've been able to done an excellent job cutting it to 6, but only 5.3 remaining.
And no timeout.
Right. But certainly not surprised. San Antonio battling into the final seconds. That's what this team has always been about. You know, we mentioned about Tim Duncan, and Duncan's certainly not retiring yet and going to play for a while. But to watch him night in and night out, one of the great players, his sustained excellence over the years has been one of the true joys of the NBA fan, being able to watch this guy.
The way he's conducted himself, whether it be win, lose, or draw, an all-time great and a true winner. At the end of the day, like I always say, Father Time is undefeated and certainly not the explosive guy that he once was. But just a great testament when you look across the board what this team was able to accomplish.
But tonight is the Memphis Grizzlies night. The #8 seed. And for only the 4th time in NBA history, an 8 seed will defeat a 1 seed. Crowd doesn't like these extra fouls and prolonging the game. Lionel Hollins just wants to see the clock here go quicker enough if you're a coach, Jeff, right?
And he's already going to be thinking by the time he hits the locker room, what about Oklahoma City? It starts at 12 o'clock Central. They have to get ready for an afternoon game and get his team so they're not emotionally spent as Zach Randolph exits to a well-deserved standing ovation.
31 points for Zach Randolph, 17 in the 4th quarter. Mayo finishes it off at the free throw line. There's the buzzer. The Grizzlies, for the first time in franchise history, are in the 2nd round of the NBA playoffs. former champion, walking off the floor. A tough way to finish for San Antonio, but as usual, their class and sportsmanship, whether they win or in defeat, it's always been the same with the San Antonio Spurs. And you can bet they're wishing luck to a Memphis Grizzlies team that is up and coming. A great performance from Memphis. They win the series in 6 games. And they knock off the #1 seed. As much as that Wednesday night Game 5 loss was painful for the Grizzly fans, the ones here tonight, I think, are glad that they got to witness the clinching game here on their own floor. And a big part of this victory, the great defense by the Grizzlies. Tony Allen, he's with Doris.
Tony, Manu Ginobili has been a guy who's taken very good defenders to school often on the offensive end. What about what you did defensively limited him tonight?
I just listened to my coaching staff, watched a lot of film on him, and you know he's a great scorer. I just had to be ready for him every night. And like I gotta take my hat off to him. He got some moves.
You guys were talking right after the game. He gave you a great embrace. What did he tell you right there?
No, I told him about the haircut situation and talking about his injury. I told him I would never show him up. He's a Hall of Famer, a champ, and I love his game and I honor everything he did this series.
Tony, you were disappointed that things did not work out for you in Boston. What about Memphis have you found in this home?
I love the Southern hospitality. I got a new home, and that's just a chapter in my book. So I'm here with Memphis now, and I'm giving them all my love.
Congratulations. Zach Randolph, the Spurs played with the character of a 4-time champion. But from the outset of this series, you guys let it known you were the team to be reckoned with. How did you beat the #1 seed?
I mean, we've been playing good basketball. We're a good team. We don't get a lot of TV games, so a lot of people don't get to see us play. But we're a good team. We work hard. We got young players that like to play, and we need to be reckoned with.
Jeff and Mark were talking about the fact that you're a great offensive player without being an explosive athlete. You had 16 points in the 4th quarter. What allowed you to be effective down the stretch?
I just felt like I could take over the game. You know, I just want to get the ball in my hands and get to the paint and get good shots and just be aggressive.
You talked a little bit earlier about this being a city that has embraced you. Your career has not always been a smooth one. What is it about this city and this team that has allowed you to thrive?
I mean, I love this city, man. They love me back, you know what I'm saying? So it's good. It's a blue-collar town. I'm a blue-collar player, a hard worker, and it's the same way with the town. You know, ain't nothing been given easy to me. It ain't nothing given easy to this town, so it's a fit.
Congratulations, Zach. Mike.
All right, Doris, they're going to love him back even more. He says they don't get many TV games. They've got some TV games coming up, including Sunday on ABC in the Western Conference semifinals. They'll start off in Oklahoma City in the best of 7 against the Thunder. The second game of that ABC doubleheader Sunday will be the Celtics and the Heat from Miami. So an historic night for the Grizzlies franchise, their first playoff series win as they eliminate the #1 seed, the San Antonio Spurs, in 6 games with a thrilling 99-91 win. Up next on ESPN at Sports Center, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Doris Burke, producer Tim Corrigan, director Jimmy Moore, and our entire crew, this is Mike Breen saying so long from Memphis, Tennessee.